Stockpile management procedures and practices are designed to reduce or eliminate air or stormwater pollution from stockpiles of soil and paving materials such as Portland cement concrete rubble, asphalt concrete rubble, aggregate base, aggregate subbase or premixed aggregate, asphalt binder, usually referred to as cold mix asphalt, and pressure-treated lumber. General guidelines for the proper management of stockpiles include the following. Protection of stockpiles is a year-round requirement. Locate stockpiles a minimum of 50 feet from concentrated flows of stormwater, drainage courses, and inlets. Implement wind erosion control practices as appropriate on all stockpiled material. Place all bagged materials on pallets and cover with plastic. Manage all stockpiles of contaminated soil in accordance with the Contaminated Soil Management BMP. General guidelines for the proper management of non-active stockpiles include the following. For soil stockpiles during the rainy season, cover or protect soil stockpiles with soil stabilization measures and a temporary perimeter sediment barrier at all times. During the non-rainy season, cover and protect soil stockpiles with a temporary perimeter sediment barrier prior to the onset of precipitation. For stockpiles of Portland cement concrete rubble, asphalt concrete rubble, aggregate base or aggregate subbase, during the rainy season, cover or protect non-active stockpiles with a temporary perimeter sediment barrier at all times. During the non-rainy season, cover or protect the non-active stockpiles with a temporary perimeter sediment barrier prior to the onset of precipitation. For stockpiles of cold mix during the rainy season, place cold mix stockpiles on plastic and cover with a plastic or comparable material at all times. During the non-rainy season, place cold mix stockpiles on plastic and cover with plastic or comparable material prior to the onset of precipitation. For stockpiles or storage of pressure-treated lumber with copper, chromium, and arsenic or ammonical, copper, zinc, and arsenate, during the rainy season, cover treated lumber with plastic or comparable material at all times. During the non-rainy season, cover treated lumber with plastic or comparable material and place the treated lumber on pallets prior to the onset of precipitation. General guidelines for the proper management of active stockpiles includes the following. Cover, stabilize, or protect active stockpiles with a temporary linear sediment barrier prior to the onset of precipitation. Stockpiles of cold mix must be placed both on and covered with plastic or a comparable material prior to the onset of precipitation. Water pollution prevention inspections need to be performed routinely in order to evaluate BMP effectiveness and implement repairs or design changes as soon as possible. Inspections are most effective when conducted jointly by the contractor's water pollution control manager and Caltrans inspectors at intervals described in the project special provisions. During the rainy season, inspections must be completed by the contractor prior to and after storm events, at 24-hour intervals during extended storm events, or as required in the project special provisions. During the inspection, the Water Pollution Control Manager should check for the following. Check to see if all locations of temporary stockpiles, including soil, hazardous waste, and construction material, are in approved areas. Determine if stockpiles are protected from runoff, from adjacent areas, and from winds. Determine if stockpiles are located at least 50 feet from concentrated flows, downstream drainage courses, and storm drain inlets. Determine if required covers and/or perimeter controls are in place. Repair and/or replace perimeter controls and covers as needed, or as directed by the resident engineer to keep them functioning properly. Remove sediment when sediment accumulation reaches 1/3 of the barrier height. If a stockpile starts to erode, cover the stockpile with plastic sheeting or spray with a soil stabilizer, and place a temporary perimeter sediment barrier around the stockpile. If a stockpile is located within a drainage flow path, relocate the stockpile to another location. All stockpiles must be located a minimum of 50 feet away from concentrated flows of stormwater, drainage courses, and inlets. If stormwater runoff impacts the stockpile, protect the stockpile by using temporary perimeter sediment barriers, such as berms, dikes, silt fencing, or sandbags. If a cold mix asphalt stockpile is found to be on bare ground, transfer the stockpile to a plastic or comparable material liner. If a cold mix asphalt stockpile is stored in a curb drainage way, remove the stockpile from the flow line. If wind is causing erosion or is blowing dust from a stockpile, cover the affected portion of the stockpile or spray it with a soil stabilizer and use a water application to suppress dust. Ensure that all stockpiles of waste soil are removed within 2 weeks. Execute enforcement actions such as non-compliance letters or contract enforcement mechanisms to motivate the contractor's compliance. To learn more about the standards and specifications for this BMP, please refer to the project special provisions or ask the resident engineer.